Roig Rage, oh. Roig Rage, oh. When is enough enough? Hey Travis, could you go down at the end of that? When is enough enough? That'll do. We're good. Thank you. Yeah, not a problem. Thank you. Hope to see you again. Hope y'all will have me. I liked it when I said, when is enough enough? You know? But those are just my ears. You've been a musician for 20 years. 25 years. But you want to be known as an actor. So when you edit your profile, you make sure that actor comes before musician. A bit disingenuous, isn't it now? I mean, could you imagine someone who just picked up the guitar, calling themselves a musician when they've studied Shakespeare at the Royal whatever theater for however many some odd years and lived together with other folk in a one bedroom, one bath house because nobody can pay the bills on their own because they're all clamoring to make it to auditions and such and whatnot, and those things, those hallmarks that make people that make people what they are. And when you go into something as silly as a social media profile, I mean, if that's how you treat the silly things, how do you treat the bigger things, the more serious things? I mean, clearly you're shitting on yourself and who you've been for all these years. I understand that you want people to know where your values lie now publicly. You want people, you want to be perceived that way. You're tired of being perceived as a musician. You now want to be an actor. When we all know that you've never learned a line of dialogue in your life, let alone prance the stage of any theater in the region. So who's it really for? Is it for you? Because, I guess it's for the people that don't know you. It's the people you want, as we were talking about this the other day, that, when you have new people look at you, it's a new chance for you to be a new person to yourself. So I get it, man. I get wanting to take as many leases out on identities as you can. That could be there could be professional reasons behind it, but and believe me, I have purported myself in very inflated ways over the years. I am not an innocent in this. I have been a perpetrator of the imposter lifestyle. What's worse is when you start paying for the story you're telling. What do I mean by that? Let's say let's say you cut a record. You cut a record. And it's not much that's been going on in your life and whatnots, at least in a social media way, kind of deal. If you're not getting out there. Mm. You just cut a record and you want people to think that it's fucking dope and shit. So what do? You pay for a couple listens. You pay for a couple followers. You pay for a couple views. You pay for a couple likes. The trouble is we know if you're getting, like 7 listens and then all of a sudden you have 8K. It's like, bro, you ain't Post Malone. People, this doesn't happen ever. I think there's more planes that fall out of the sky than people's records blowing up on the gram or wherever. I don't know. I used to be in love with my hyphens. How am I going to break myself down? How am I going to... Because let's see, I'm an actor. I've done some stage, and I went to a high school that taught me theater for, a few years, and then maybe a writer, because I really more so than that. You know what? Let me put writer. I bet I have a writer somewhere out there. It's probably on my Facebook fan page. Does anybody have the Facebook fan page? Or artist page? No. Huh. I think it says writer. Only because I probably wrote longer than anything else, and I felt more. I felt more that than not. I felt more of a writer than an actor, more of a writer than a musician, more writer, So I get that. I get the feels you can feel about how you feel. But I'm kind of old now. At least I'm in the middle thick of things, and if there's anything that really turns me on, is authenticity. I can think you're a fucking douchebag, but if you're being authentic to yourself, I'm probably gonna love you. I know. Oh, and admire you. There could be definitely that as well. I admire a lot of people who annoy the shit out of me. And I would dare never, ever, ever, ever cross the streams with some of the genres they are themselves. You know? It's like just because I changed the oil in my car, it doesn't make me a mechanic. You know? That's all. That's all. Because even if you don't get big or you do get big, but then things go this way or this and that, whatever. Like, at least it's the good stuff. You know, it's the true stuff. Come on. Come on. Am I being a nitpicky little piece of shit? I could totally be. Totally be. But it is an imposter syndrome, no? Especially when I feel like everybody's way too old for this shit. Like, weren't all of us who skated out of the 90s, didn't we all kind of have a sense of, we know when we were shitting ourselves. You know, we have an idea of what's real. And people calling themselves what they ain't. People inflating the numbers game. When you have, you know, when even your art, even the art that you create is based on honesty and these kind and emotional intelligence and whatnot, you're kind of betraying the very thing you're putting out by purporting to be something that you're not. At least you haven't earned it yet. I mean, that's what I see. I see the unearners. It's like, cool, you're gonna go there, but like, get there first and maybe have someone knight you, you know? Kind of deal. But it's tough. It's tough. It's tough. And I know it, man. It's lonely. It's lonely. I don't care how many people you have around you. It's lonely. It's lonely producing shit. It's lonely being in a world where maybe you feel you aren't validated, and maybe that's why you make the choices you make. Or who knows? I don't know. I don't know. But I care about you. Well, I care about the conversation. Well, there's no conversation. I'm just starting it. Pre-existing conversation. I'm just trying to get through my 5th attempt at this episode about being an imposter, and I think really I'm having trouble with it because I am an imposter. You're not going to see me put podcaster or whatever the fuck, you know, about this. If I even advertise this thing anymore, like I'm not a podcaster, you know? First of all, people need to know you. Second of all, like, this is the 20 episode in, man. Like, at least get a hundo underneath the belt. I think a hundo. I think a hundo on anything. Make it songs, plays, whatever the case. Like 100 thing. I know you did the whole 10,000 hour deal, but you know, just do something 100 times or something. That's you know. Oh, I just said you know a few more times than I wanted to, which was too many. But I'm just saying, like, I'm trying to hold up the illusion that anyone should give a fuck about this. And even myself, why I should care. I'm an old fucking man. I could be, like, working on some other shit that makes money for this household and shit. But I choose to keep going at this for the 5th time. The same shit about the same shit. And maybe I did it better this time. Maybe we'll see that five attempts gets you better. Because I would hate to think that doing something a lot more doesn't make you better. That I could do this, and I could do this 100 times and not get any better at shortening the pauses, be more, what's the word? Prepared. That kind of stuff, you know, and that this actually, it doesn't matter that nobody's, I mean, it does matter, but it doesn't matter that nobody's listening to it. but that the thing objectively is getting better. That'd be so cool if doing it over and over and over can make you better. Because I don't know what I'm still doing over and over again. It feels like I'm still doing everything over and over again. And still, all these years later, nothing has popped off. And how have I been tempted to buy like things? No, because it's just I want to know that 500 people really love my shit, and not need the 15K to look there like I'm more popular than I actually am, or more people know me than they actually do. You know, I want the 500. There's just dignity in that. It's okay. Especially in this day and age. Why purport yourself any... I know, I'm taking the word purport a little... I'm taking it out for a jog too early in the morning, and everybody's listening to the sound of my wet shoes across the pavement. That took me nowhere. That describing that like that took me nowhere. Took you even less anywhere than me. But hey, I hope this fifth time did some doing, and I hope to do another one. Let's see. Right? All right. Fair enough. All right. No, you. Yeah. No, you. No. No. Nieta paya se danza. Danza. Thanks for listening. Roig Rage. Roig Rage.